Good morning, America. How are ya? Monday Morning Rail. Hi, I'm Denny Jelsma, and I'm at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum. Today is Monday, and you know what we do on Monday. You guessed it, we always just do show and tell. Show and tell is always brought to you by Jelsma Graphics, the people that make all the railroad embroidery clothing we have since 1985. 40 years of making railroad embroidery clothing for the railroads and the railroad fans. You just go to jelsma.com, that's JELSMA.com, and shop and select your favorite jacket, hat. We have over 1,500 logos, so go to jelsma.com. And with all that being said, show and tell is going to start right now. Show and tell for this Monday morning starts right now, and we do have a very exciting show. You know, a lot of people ask me, what's the difference between a heavyweight passenger car and a lightweight passenger car? And I asked one of the guys at the club this morning, and they said, what do they have in common? They both haul people. And I kind of chuckled, and that is true because they're so different. But before I get going, I want to thank once again all the listeners that watch us week after week on Facebook. You know, 15,000 is a typical view, and we just stand absolutely amazed. Also, I'd like to have you this week, probably around Wednesday or Thursday, I'll be sending a link on my Facebook page. See us on the Ken Patterson What's Neat This Week. The world famous rail fan, Andrew Casey, and I drove up to St. Louis, and we were on the What's Neat this week with Ken Patterson show in St. Louis. And the show will probably air either Wednesday or Thursday. Check it out. You'll see some interesting things, and you'll get to see, once again, the world famous Andrew Casey, and you'll get to see me on there. So let's talk about what I like talking about, and that is passenger cars. You know, the difference between a heavyweight and a lightweight car is the difference between day and night. These are the heavyweight cars. They always, in most cases, had 6-wheel trucks. Some of them had 4, but but these were actually literally heavyweight cars. The floor had a cement floor, and it was cut in the floor in 3 sections so it could move. And the heavyweight cars were the smoothest riding cars compared to the lightweight cars. But these cars right here, these are 10-1-2s, sleeping accommodations, and they were in the daytime a chair car, and then at night it made into a berth, an upper and a lower, and very, very popular. These 2 particular cars ran on the Ponce de Leon from Cincinnati to Jacksonville, one of my favorite trains. And it was a gorgeous train, even though it was a heavyweight, beautiful Pullman green for the Southern. It was just great looking cars. Here I've got lightweight cars. They every once in a while you would see a 6-wheel truck, but there was a kind of a made-up type car. But it was 4-wheel trucks. They weighed probably less than half of the heavyweight, and they were made of stainless steel. And there were 3 basic car manufacturers: the American Car Foundry, Pullman Standard, and the Bud. And what I have here is I have the famous Hickory Creek of the New York Central. And just to show you the difference between 2 different type of observation cars, this is the Hickory Creek, and then I have the California Zephyr, Western Pacific, and that is the Silver Crescent, and this was made by the Bud Company. And so they were lightweight and very, very modern looking. And when they first came out in the 40s, late 40s, boy, they were just an absolute hit. and it was just very popular, and that really started bringing back a lot of passengers to the railroads, because the railroads in such a decline. The California Zephyr, I don't have to say much about it. It was the train that brought back passengers to go on vacations, because that was the best scenic ride in America. Now, many of the cars are still preserved to this day, and they came out in 1949. And I don't know exactly when the Hickory Creek, I think it was, if I said in the early 50s, somebody will say no, it was 54, but it could be 49, and it could have been in the late 40s. But anyhow, the difference between the heavyweight and a lightweight is actually the weight of the car. It was made different. It was just modernized, and just kind of represented speed. But for a ride, the heavyweight was a far, far better ride for comfortability. And there were so many of the heavyweights, and they lasted all the way up into the 60s. I know that Burlington used a lot of heavyweights on their secondary trains. And so very, very interesting. What I'd recommend is just start researching and looking into the different cars, and you'll become educated on the difference in cars. So once again, we just thank all the people that watch us week after week. Number 2 and I, our next big show that will be, I believe, we'll be at the TCA first here in Jacksonville, Florida. You'll get to see number 2, and then we're going to Novi, Michigan,
in Durand, right?
and we'll go to DeLand nationally. That's kind of a quarterly thing.
No, the NMRA convention.
The NMRA convention in Novi, Michigan, suburb of Detroit. You'll see that, and that's in July. So take a look at your schedule. Come see us. Say hi to us. If you say you saw us on Good Morning, our show here, or you saw us on the Ken Patterson show, we'll give you a free hat. You can't beat that. So with all that being said, that's the way it is at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, where the sun always shines and running trains is an absolute pleasure and air-conditioned comfort.